What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Communication Breakdown Podcast number 2. It's me and Lucky back again. Today we are going to be talking about music. Now, this is going to be quite a deep subject, guys. This could be an episode or 2, maybe even 3. We'll just see how we get on. I'm sure music is as dear to many of you as it is to myself and Lucky. We're going to do our best to show you our background, our influences, any instruments that we've played over time, and like music into the modern era, all that sort of good stuff. Anyway, Lucky, do you want to say hello to the podcast, bro?
How's it going, everybody? This is a episode we've been talking about for a while, so I hope you enjoy it because there's a lot here for us to talk about, and it's been a big part of both of our lives.
Oh, 100%, mate. I am sat here with beer in hand.
Nice.
So, look, what do you reckon your like earliest musical memory, like the first thing you remember?
Um, the earliest memory, like, so my dad, he didn't play drums, like in a band or anything, but he had a drum set. And
Okay,
so, like, I was the youngest of my family, so there was always a drum set present. And my brother played drums in
okay,
band in high school, and he had a couple bands he would play when he got to be a teenager. So really, like, anything centered around that drum set. It wasn't even like the music itself. It was just like going to the basement and seeing this, like, I think it was like a gold colored drum set just
yeah,
set
that's
up
sick.
downstairs. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then, as I got a little bit older, my sister played the flute. My brother, I said, played the drums, and I didn't play any instruments. I When I was younger, I played baseball. That was kind of like my outlet and
Okay,
my what I spent most of my time doing. So it was only when I got into high school that I actually played music. There was one point when I was in elementary school, which is like third grade, where I tried playing the trumpet for like 2 weeks and I hated it.
no shot,
so,
mate.
so I stopped. I was like, yeah, this isn't for me, and I went back to playing baseball and that type of stuff. But what about you? What was your youngest musical memory?
Musical memory, probably. It's got to be some weird records that my dad had, and I'm gonna have to look it up. But these LPs, these record sleeves, and you could like, I'd have to speak to my mum actually. I'll have to ask her, and you could spin like these discs, and it would like trip out and change what was going on the LP cover. It's
Oh, really?
fucking weird. Yeah, it's like I couldn't tell you what the music was or what was on them and stuff. I do remember seeing like Black Sabbath album sleeves and Meatloaf album sleeves when I was a kid. So this is my first sort of musical based memories. But sort of my first foray into instruments and stuff, I guess, was the violin in like
Okay.
in primary school. We'd call it in the UK. So what? I guess. So what would it be called at the age of 10 for the US schools?
10 years old would be like elementary. That was like fifth grade for me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I started playing violin in elementary then,
Okay.
and then didn't really pick up an instrument again until I was 16 after I left high school,
Okay.
which was
Okay.
the guitar.
Nice.
Like my first musical proper memory of music itself. I'm gonna say like where I really like dug the music was probably the Transformers movie.
Okay.
That was soundtrack by Van Halen from memory.
Okay.
Um,
It's interesting.
yeah, and that woke me up. Like I was like, oh wow, what's that? And obviously I'd listened to like Black Sabbath, Jethro Tull, Styx, and all that stuff that my parents were playing. Like Yes, I don't know if you know any of that. You should know Styx.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Sticks.
And Black
Yeah.
Sabbath, you should know. I would have thought.
Right.
I don't know if you'll know Yes.
It sounds familiar. I probably have to hear a song and be like, "Oh yeah, I
I
know that
bet they're
song."
American. I bet they're American band. You got to know Van Halen is.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like I remember Guns N' Roses on Terminator 2 film, and I'm thinking that was pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, that was oh, what song was that they did?
You Could Be Mine is what that song was called.
Okay.
My
So
first, go on.
it's funny that you mentioned Guns N' Roses because my brother, like, he was more into that stuff because he's older than me when
Mm.
it first came out, and I remember like November Rain. And all that type of stuff when I was a kid,
Axel,
like
mate.
listening to, yeah.
Mate, they suck ass. They cancelled the Chinese Democracy Tour after I bought a ticket and never got a refund.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, they suck ass for
You
that,
should sue
bro.
him. Today you have to sue him, man. That's
Oh,
the way it
bro, it
works.
was so long ago now. I mean, look it up. I mean, and Chinese Democracy Tour, was that 1999, 98?
Uh,
Damn.
yeah, I
It
think
never
that would
happened,
be
I
right.
know that. But the first album I ever bought, like, off my own back, I went to the record store around my 16th birthday, and there was the Slim Shady LP by Eminem,
Oh,
or Americana by The Offspring. And
Offspring. That's
I picked Americana because of the artwork.
okay.
It wasn't based on any sort of like, I'd heard Pretty Fly for a White Guy and My Name Is by Eminem at the time. And I guess I just subconsciously like something more about Pretty Fly for a White Guy, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Probably because of
It
like
was
that.
catchy. It was pretty catchy.
I think it's probably the guitar. Because I fell in love with the guitar. I've been obsessed with it since I picked it up. I probably decided to use an instrument and dedicate some time to it. And like early influences of Van Halen and Sabbath and AC/DC, all that sort of stuff, listened to as a kid. I think it was probably the guitar that pushed me over the edge from the rap side of it.
Yeah, that would make sense. Little
Great
fun fact
album.
about that Eminem song, though, man.
Go
Like,
on.
I don't know if you've ever heard him talk about it, but he hates that song.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I don't know if he still does, but he did an interview I remember watching one time where he was, he's like, "Oh, this is so corny, but it's what gets people listening." And that's, he's like, "That's when I realized the formula is, like do a single that'll get like it's corny as shit, but people like it and it'll get them to buy it, and hopefully listen to the rest of the album, right?"
Yeah.
So,
It was,
yeah.
I don't know. It worked. As a kid, I thought that song was sick.
Right. Yeah.
Just not enough to buy the album.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
remember listening to the Offspring album for the first time, and like the kids aren't all right, blew me away. Like powerful guitar was and stuff. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a song.
It's
Uh,
if you like I can see like you're so into guitar, I can see why those that like pushed you to go in that direction. Like those are very guitar like oriented type of songs. At least they
yes.
feature a lot in them, so it makes
Oh hell
sense.
no.
Absolutely makes sense.
Well, the strange thing about the guitar is when it was first invented, it was a backing instrument.
Okay.
It was never a lead instrument. With the first iterations of the guitar, they were designed to accompany what was going on with the rest of the music. It was only over time that it took over its prevalence as a lead instrument, and you started to get lead guitars and heavy guitar band style music. Even back, if you go back to like the advent of jazz and all that sort of stuff, the guitars weren't very prevalent at all. They'd be more of a filler instrument over the essentially it would have been singers, and back then that was the main focus of a band. It was only over time, like as music progressed towards more the modern era, the guitars took over.
Well, it makes sense because like guitars, especially the different like bass and acoustic and all those type of the different like variations of it, they all have such unique sounds. So it was just like inevitable that they were going to feature more and more in music as we went forward.
Yeah, it's like if you go back um to before we were born, mate, and you look at like iconic instrument players or musicians from back in the day. Sorry, I mute my phone. That just went off. Oh, look at that, it's Call of Duty. Jog on. Yeah, Black Ops 6 advert getting emailed to me. But you look back
No
and
thanks.
you can find like lots of notable drummers and stuff like that, like Buddy Rich.
Right.
But not so much on the guitar front.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
there's
a drummer would know a lot more about those sorts of musicians back then. But I look back towards those sorts of times as a guitarist, and you got like Robert Johnson, Django Reinhardt. And this is what I mean. I'm struggling to think of many more. I'm
well, it's
sure.
because
So,
like it was our generations where guitars really became of age,
yeah,
right?
that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to get at, mate. Is to reinforce my point about guitars becoming more prevalent in more modern times. Even like after the 50s, do you know what I mean? It's been that
Yeah.
guitar based music or driven music is that new.
Right. Right.
Whereas like
Like the one
drums,
that pops in
um,
my head is
go on.
Slash from from Guns N' Roses, right? Like I mean, I'm not a guitarist, but like
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's mostly our generation and onwards where they really like, heavy metal and rock and all that really came into like their own type of, even like, Green Day and, their guitarists, and it's just it's a different thing than when we were growing up.
yeah. I mean, I'm a thoroughbred punk as a teenager, so I know a lot about what drove music to the direction it did. When you're talking about bands like Green Day and stuff like that, because they started as light punk. I can't say they're proper punk music because Green Day have never been proper punk music.
Tell you like what my first album was, and you'll never guess what it was, like, because it's not a musical thing per se. But like I
Well,
bought it when I was probably 10 years old.
right, go on.
so so my first album that I paid for with like my own money and I wanted was The Simpsons Sing the Blues.
No shot, bro.
Yeah, they did an album, and I like most of the songs. If I heard them again, I'd be like, oh yeah, yeah. But there's one that stuck with me, and it was Mr. Burns, and the title of the song was "Look at All These Idiots."
Oh
He's
mate.
he's singing about all the people that work for him in the power plant, and like I can still hear that melody and
Mate,
the
Harry
chorus
Shearer.
and everything in my head, dude. Like it's so funny how music just kind of sticks with you a certain way. But like here I am, 30 years later, and I can like hear that music in my head still, just from that stupid little Simpson Sing the Blues, like
Mate,
money
great
grab or whatever
great
they did.
actor.
Right?
He's a great
Yeah.
actor, Mr. Burns. Mate, Harry Shearer.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you ever seen
I mean,
Spinal Tap?
oh yeah, dude, one of my favorite
Mate,
movies. We quote that all the time.
mate, I love that film. This got up to 11.
Yep.
Why'd you
These
make
guys
10
are
louder?
11.
Yep. No, but these are 11.
Yeah,
Mate,
it's such a it's just a 2-word review. Shit sandwich. When
mate,
we're
like
talking about
for that bit when they go into the hotel, they can't get a room. You listen here, you
yep.
twisted old fruit.
Yep. Yep. Like one of the
Mate,
things me and my brother would quote all the time was, the problem with Stonehenge might have been that it was in trouble being crushed by a small dwarf. Like they had the Stonehenge stand on stage. Oh
oh
man, it was
mate,
so
that
funny.
film is so good.
So good, man. So like the mockumentary, it was just a
Mate,
perfect, and
and
it was
fits
music
perfectly.
based, which
Fits
yeah,
yeah,
it made
exactly.
it
Fits
so
perfectly
good.
with the conversation and topic, mate. Like,
Yeah.
and that gave birth to like Tenacious D.
Yep.
Later on in life, man, 100%. Because like I think the impact of that film is so good because you've got Steel Panther, a great piss take metal band. I don't know if you've listened to much Steel Panther, but they've got some great tunes, mate. Gangbang at the Old Folks Home is a fantastic tune. You need to listen to that if you haven't.
Okay.
Do you know who Steel Panther are?
I don't think so. I don't think I've heard
So
of
they
them.
are a cock rock band, right? So by that is what think like when Bon Jovi started. Okay. And like the music sounds like that sort of cock rocky shit, but coupled with Spinal Tap lyrics. And they
Mm-hmm.
tour, they sell tickets, they release albums, there's merch, they're very successful. Hold on, I can send you, and you can listen. It won't come through, I don't think. Okay, bro. So you have a quick gander at this, and you tell me what you think.
All
You'll
right,
see what
let
I
me
mean
see.
about the cock rock, like
Let me
Skid
see.
Row, Motley Crue, that sort.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Skid
but
Row, yeah, yeah.
but you need to listen to the lyrics. Maybe put the subtitles on for the video.
L'Oreal. That says it all, right?
There's a great band, mate. You'll be hooked. You'll be hooked if you like a bit of metal, mate. You'll be heavy. You'll be hooked.
Oh, that's funny. Like performing in a bathroom.
Yeah, and it's done as like it's a serious song, isn't it?
Right,
It's
exactly. Yeah.
it's so good. It's like a highly produced music video. Like they really mean what they're singing about, mate. I love this band.
Oh, that is funny.
The scream, man. It's like some proper like Ronnie James Dio shit going on there, mate.
Yeah. I see Ronald McDonald in there. That's weird.
Oh, bro. See, you just found a new band, mate.
Oh yeah.
Give Steel Panther a listen, mate.
Okay, I will for sure. It's an interesting.
And that band is definitely a product of Spinal Tap
Okay.
because it's a piss take metal band, but that's actually
Right.
a piss take metal band that's actually doing what Spinal Tap said they were doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
they're the
making
real
fun of
Spinal
it.
Tap.
Right.
They are the real
Right.
Spinal Tap. They really are.
That's
Um,
funny.
Mate, my jaw's aching from smiling listening because I had the album. I used to drive around listening to it, mate. So I listened to songs time and time again, like some of the hazy. But "Gang Bang at the Old Folks Home" is such a good song. It's like
It's
he's
it's a
sing,
long way from Simpsons Sing the Blues. That's for sure.
bro. He's the guy's singing like from the perspective of a pizza delivery boy. That delivers like 12 pizzas to an old folks home, and he opens the door, and they're all having a gangbang,
Right.
and then he gets involved.
It's like a porno.
Mate, it's like there's lots of wrinkly boobies and dicks. The youngest one there was probably 76.
God,
Mate, it's so
that's
funny.
ridiculous.
It's so funny.
That is ridiculous.
Mate, they're a
But
class
people will
band.
push the envelope on any medium they can.
Mate, here we're down for it here, mate. You'd probably offend very little people here with that. And if you did, they probably wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I think like nowadays people probably wouldn't care, but when I was a kid, it would be much different.
Oh,
You know,
definitely, definitely.
yeah, yeah. It's
Oh, that would have been, oh, they're poisoning our babies' minds and all that sort of
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
No, fuck off. No, they're not. It's just funny humour. Don't take it serious. Like Tenacious D, mate. Cock push-ups.
From now on, I want you to do one cock push-up a day, every day. It hurts my cock. Keep at it.
Right,
As a kid, mate, that wouldn't have been on TV
right.
or in
Exactly.
movies and shit. But mate, Jack Black's a genius, bro. And Tenacious D are a great band. Musically, they're fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like comedic music that's better than people think. Like one of the things that stands out to me is the South Park movie.
Oh,
You
mate,
know,
hell yeah.
that music is so fucking good. Like if you just take it as a music, like the Blame Canada song,
Oh,
you
mate,
know,
it's a
it's
great tune.
funny. Yeah, it's funny, but it's so well done.
The
You know.
songs from that film were great. Like Chef Aid was brilliant as well.
Yep, yep, yep. What's that song? Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Me, yeah. Shut your
Like
fucking
that.
face, Uncle
Yeah,
Fucker.
dude, like it's like again, it's a ridiculous song, but the tune of it, right? Like the flow of it,
Yeah. It's catchy as hell.
yeah, it's like man, they knew what they were doing. They really did.
Mate, have you seen the live performances they did? They're on YouTube.
Um,
They live performed quite a few of the songs. They had Primus on stage with them and stuff.
probably did.
It was maybe last year, could have been the year before. You know what my memory's like. We've had this conversation, but yeah, they actually performed quite a few of the songs and stuff live. It was great.
Hmm. Dude, another one that I just thought about, just came to mind, was when I was younger, when I was probably in like my late teens, was Beavis and Butthead did a soundtrack,
Oh
and one of
mate,
the songs was Cher. So I Got You, Babe. And they
oh yeah,
sing, yeah, they sing with them. Like it's so crazy, man. Like it's
good.
just me. Like song and music and all that is such a like a coming together of so many different things. You know,
Yep.
like where else would you find Beavis and Butthead with Cher and Sunny? You know, it just doesn't wouldn't make any sense anywhere else.
No, no.
It's
The,
that good.
the
You know.
beauty of media, sort of such as TV, cartoons, all that sort of stuff, and music, is that you can just mash it all together and make it work because it's make believe and reality clashing. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
And no, stuff like that really works really well. Like the Red Hot Chili Peppers with the Roller Coaster of Love video.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great video, and that was part of the Beavis and Butthead movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Is um it's just the perfect way for people to like come together, you know. One of the more serious things was like Eminem and uh why am I blanking on his name? um Elton
Elton
John,
John.
sorry, Elton John.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew you were
like
going to say Elton John.
when that controversy was going on, like they came together on stage and played together because Elton John's like, I get what he's saying. He's like, I'm not
Yeah.
offended. Why are you? Just like relax. It's just to send a message. There's just people can use music all different ways.
Yeah.
And it's the great thing about music. It's there's just nothing like it. There really is. To me,
It
music is a
transcends.
universal language,
Yeah, it
right?
transcends language barriers. Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
totally
just
agree.
like I don't need to speak Japanese to understand like what they're trying to convey in a Japanese, song, or what a Japanese artist may have created in a song. Like the emotion of it is playing with the tone of the music, and that like what else is there like that? You know, what
I'm
other
gonna
communication
send you.
tool
I'm
is
gonna
there?
send you another link, right? So this is Japanese baby metal. I bet you've never heard of this, mate. Check this out.
Oh man, that's ridiculous.
Oh, bro.
I've seen something like that. Kind of crazy.
It's like cute Japanese girl singing with a heavy metal backdrop.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's crazy.
There you go. Music transcending language barriers, because that's some kicking metal, mate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, the music itself is like,
It's face melting.
yeah.
It's in like
So when you were like when you played guitar, did you do it in school, or did you just do it like as like a hobby,
I
or
taught myself to play guitar.
okay,
Mainly because my mates were sort of starting to pick up instruments, and I was like, well, that looks pretty cool. And I was going to play bass, but my stepdad convinced me to pick up guitar because, like, his argument was you couldn't play a bass on your own and sound any good. That's not quite true, as I've learned as I became an adult and became a musician.
okay.
You can sound good on a bass, you just have to work harder. So I picked up the guitar, and then me and my mates formed a band called Shaven Ape, which never really did anything, mate. We recorded some like really crappy demos with one of my best mates, 4-track recorder that he managed to get hold of. I don't know if he got it I think it's a birthday present he got it as. So we recorded some crap stuff. We never did any gigs or any shows or anything like that. We just recorded crap. After a few beers, we were 16, 17, 18 years old. Starting to get older beer from people and stuff like that. And yeah, the rest is history, man. I just taught myself everything I know. A couple of tips I've picked up along the way from other musicians or the guitarists. But yeah, as a whole, I'm a self-taught guitarist. And
Cool.
that was sort of that. I guess you picking up the drums came from the basement by the sounds of it.
No, actually, so mine's kind of a funny story. So remember I told you I played baseball. Well, when we moved to Florida, my dad was my coach basically. When I played baseball in New York before we moved. My parents got divorced, and my dad just didn't have the time or anything to do coaching. So I just kind of like stopped playing baseball, and I lived with my mom the majority of the time. And around like eighth grade, before going into ninth, she's like, "Look, you're either going to have to play baseball or you're going to join the band when you get to high school." And me being the smart ass kid that I thought I was like, "Oh no, 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 I'm gonna join the band, right?" And
Okay.
so like when time came around to join the band, I'm like, "Oh no, 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 I'm gonna play baseball," right? Like I didn't want to do either. So I was like, and my mom goes, "No, no, no, no,
You ain't flip-flopping
you're
on me,
you're
boy.
joining the band, right?" So she's like, "Pick an instrument." And that's what because my sister was in she's 2 or 3 years ahead of me, and she was already in the band, so she was playing the flute.
Right.
And I had no idea what I was getting into because it in Florida at that time, high school marching band was like massive. um, our football team sucked at my school, so most of the money went to the band, and we were so competitive. Like it ended up being the best decision that my mom ever forced me to make because uh, it was completely changed my life. Like I wouldn't have graduated high school if I didn't have the band, the drum line.
That's
Like
crazy.
I met three of my best friends in my life. The type of people I could call up to this day and say, "Hey, I need help," and they'll all be there. I
That's
met
sick.
in the drum line, and we worked really really hard. We were playing a type of music. It was so hard we had no business playing at our age. It was so competitive, and it just put like the competitive spirit or whatever in me. And I mean, we used to be outside for hours and hours on end in the Florida heat practicing. I was like, I think I told you last podcast, I was a very small kid, in freshman, and until I hit my growth spurt probably in sophomore junior year. But even then I was never big. And my drum, I like my sophomore year I played a bass drum, and it probably weighed 30 something pounds, and I
Wow.
weighed like maybe 80, 90. I was like carrying this thing around. Like I have a picture that they took during one of our competitions, they put in the local paper, and I'm carrying this drum. It's bigger than me,
Oh, mate, you need to link me
and
with that.
yeah, I'll have to find it. But
Oh,
yeah,
heck
man,
yeah.
it was crazy. But that was like the basically set the tone for my life as far as like how I approach things, how I learn things. Me and my best friend, the guy who got me into playing Call of Duty, like we
Yeah.
would sit there and try and learn a piece of music, and we wouldn't be able to get it. It's hard when you're playing, like you're learning this type of stuff, and we would just look at each other and go, "Fuck it, just do it, just do it, like just do it." And that's I still have that attitude to this day when something's like difficult or hard. I'm just like, just do it, man, just do it, and I end up doing it.
Yeah.
And that's it, just kind of like set everything, the expectations of yourself and what you're trying to accomplish when you do something. um
You said doo doo.
but yeah, that was it, man. That was like, once I started playing those drums, I fell in love with it.
Yeah, no
And
doubt,
for
mate.
me at the time, it was more marching band competitiveness. I played drum set, but not nearly as much as the competitiveness as the marching and concert bands and that type of stuff. And then after I graduated high school, I taught it for a little while,
That's
and
nuts,
that
mate.
was really fun. Yeah, that was really rewarding type of work.
That's complete
Um,
opposite to me. So you're like
yeah,
a trained musician, whereas I just like
somewhat true.
I just
Yeah.
fucked about until I got it kind of right.
Well, I mean, that's all that matters, man. It doesn't matter how, as long as you do it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I
You
guess you're
know,
right. I guess you're right,
like
man. But I
the
mean,
the
a
biggest
guitar
thing with
teacher
music
probably
is the
wouldn't have gone
passion.
amiss. Yeah, I love.
Yeah, I mean,
Go on.
I agree. Yeah. No, I was just saying I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the instrument, mate. Yeah, absolutely passionate, 100%, mate. I love the
Yeah,
guitar.
there.
I really do.
Have you ever tried teaching it? Like, have you ever tried and teach it to
I don't think I've
someone?
got the patience.
Yeah, that's the key. Is definitely the patience. Like, I was surprised I had the patience when I did, but
Like,
it's
like
so rewarding. Like teaching someone, I didn't even think it would be that rewarding, but it really is. Um,
I try teaching my
so
kids. I mean, like my daughter, maybe she picks it up relatively well, I suppose. But I don't know if that's just like genetic ability, because like there people have played instruments in my family, not to any notable degree. But like I come from a line of people who played instruments or had the ability to play instruments. So I don't know if it's me teaching her or just a natural ability that she could just get on with it. Once I said do that, do that, do that, and it's just like the rest of it just flowed out of her or whatnot. But that's the only person I could say that I've properly taught,
okay,
I guess. Other than that, no. I just don't think I've got the ability to, or attention span maybe,
right, right,
to imprint that information onto somebody else. Like, I think my daughter picked up the bass more than the guitar, but it's only four strings and one
okay.
finger. That's the way I like. Obviously, you basically start with a bass guitar. It's one finger in it, and just like, are you familiar with what guitar tab is?
Um, no,
So
I should be, but I'm not.
a guitar tab basically just gives you an image of a fretboard with numbers on the strings, where to put your
Okay,
fingers. So with a bass, obviously only go one note per string. as a base, as a starter. So you would just give her 4 notes and say that's the song, learn that. Whereas the guitar, you got at least, if you're going to be playing bar chords anyway, or chords, you're going to be using at least 3 notes at one given time.
Right.
I don't think I've got the patience to be able to imprint each note or chord shape rather into somebody's head without like losing interest or something.
Yeah, it's definitely probably a little bit more musical teaching drums at the outset because, like, for me, when I teach someone, I say the biggest thing is getting, holding the sticks correctly, the drumsticks correctly, and
Yeah.
we tell them, believe it or not, we tell them to go drum on a pillow because people are used to, they want to bounce on something, right? Well, how you build your stamina and your strength and your ability to control the sticks is you play on something that has no bounce,
Oh,
and
okay.
like when you're good, like when you're experienced, you can play on a pillow and people will think you're bouncing, but you're not. You're actually moving the stick each time with your hand. Like you can do a drum roll,
Yeah.
with like, and people think you're bouncing on the pillow, but you're not. And so it all comes from, like, I was taught that when I first started playing, like, go play on a pillow. And it hurts after the first 30 seconds or so. You're like, ow,
Yeah.
but you build up that stamina. So
Yeah,
that's
of
a little
course.
bit easier than teaching people chords and, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because
My,
to learn that, they really have to want to know, to go drum on a pillow for an hour, they can just do that while watching TV.
yeah, that's
So it's
true. And
definitely a little bit different.
you're working your arms out, you're getting your hands used to holding the sticks and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
similar to building calluses on a guitar, but that's just that bit just naturally comes as a part of learning the instrument as opposed to
Well, you get those too
going
with the
through drills.
drumsticks. Those
Yeah,
dumb
but
drumsticks will tear
like
off the skin on your fingers for sure.
like with the pillow thing, it's like a musical drill you could do with a drum kit anywhere, I guess.
Right,
Which
right.
is really good. Like with guitar, you can't like you can carry a set of drumsticks with you anywhere. It's like pretty lightweight. It's small. You can tap on your leg on a bus or something, I suppose, as well.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
I
it's quite.
mean, the parents love the pillow thing because they don't have to hear a drum pounding for, 2 hours, right? So,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's for anyone who wants to, like, get a little bit better at the beginning. There's a tip for you: play on a pillow.
yeah, sounds like it, mate. I was
Right.
taught paradiddles by my mate as a drummer.
Yep, that's one of
Um,
the key rudiments.
that's about the only one I've got.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a I think when I was playing, there was like 20 something, but now I'm sure there's much more. They
I was
keep
bound to
adding
be.
them to, because there's something, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Drum Corps International (DCI), and it's basically professional marching bands, is what it is. I'll
Right.
have to send you a link when I can find it. But like, it's one of the best experiences, best shows you can go to. It's just brass, percussion, and color guard. There's no woodwinds or anything. Um, and but they play crazy music while marching around, on the field, hitting these designs and spots and all. And it's just insane. But they've come up with so many rudiments from that they've just added to, the repertoire of what you need to learn as a drummer, going forward. So,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So what
nuts.
was, when you were growing up, like in your high schoolish type of years, like is there a music or song or band or something that like made you realize, like, this is it. This is, I love music type of thing.
Oh, definitely the Offspring, I would say, mate.
Offspring.
Yeah, I would say that was the band that propelled me into loving music. I mean, I listened to music obviously growing up, but I didn't really get into music until I left high school at 16.
Okay.
I didn't really pay any mind. It's just sort of something in the background there, that, like my parents listened to. It was on a video or on a video game, or my brother was playing it, or my sisters were playing it because they were all like heavily into music at relatively younger ages than me. But yeah, definitely a late bloomer, mate. It's the Offspring, 100%. And then from there, I found better bands,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
NoFX, Sex Pistols. I'd already known like Motorhead, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Jethro Tull, all that sort of stuff growing up. But as I said, I just didn't pay any mind. And it was after buying Americana that I started to look back at these bands that I'd listened to through my parents as a kid, and start to actually appreciate what that was. So yeah,
Right.
the band that definitely woke me up to music was 100% The Offspring. Even though, like, looking at that band now and what they became is, oh my god.
Right.
But for a 16-year-old back in 1998, 1999, yeah, it was good music, man. Considering all the shit that was around at the time. You think of, like,
Offspring was good, man.
fucking
Offspring was good.
Morrissey, mate.
Yeah.
You ever listen to Morrissey's lyrics?
No.
Mate, Morrissey song, right? Here you go, Morrissey song. Dum dum da dum 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 da dum dum. I woke up, yeah, and I brushed my hair. Dum dum
Oh
dum da
yeah,
dum
right,
dum
right.
dum da dum. Then I brushed my teeth. Dum dum da dum dum, and walked down the stairs.
It's like
That
popcorn music.
Mate,
Yeah.
that is a Morrissey song. Basically, he talks about what the fuck he's done in his day. That's a Morrissey
Right.
song, bro.
Yep.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a problem. I can't listen to that type of stuff. It's
right,
like,
dude, there's a British comedian that he never finished the series, sadly, but he read Morrissey's biography.
There's streets upon streets upon streets upon streets upon streets, oh, streets to define you, and streets to confine you.
But singing it in the style of Morrissey.
okay.
And it sounded like a freaking Morrissey album, bro.
Fair
He
enough.
he knocked some music together, put it behind it, and then read his autobiography, and it was like, yeah, it sounds like Morrissey probably would release that. It's so sad he didn't finish the series, mate.
It's Morrissey.
Yeah, essentially, mate. Yeah. Crikey.
Yeah.
So what
for
about
you,
you,
it's
mate?
more about like rock, and metal type of music.
It definitely did.
Growing up in that time
It was
period?
more
Okay.
punk as a teenager, but
Punk.
my taste broadened as I got older,
Okay.
and I found Pantera, which is a band I'd never heard of, and that
Gotcha.
sort of put me onto the metal scene. And new metal started coming around, Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park, Papa Roach, all those sorts of bands. Obviously, listened to all that stuff on MTV and stuff. But what would you say was like the band that woke you up?
It wasn't. It was a band. It was actually Tupac.
Oh,
Believe it or
really?
not, like a skinny little white kid, right? So my friend gave me the song to listen to. Hit 'em up. I don't know if you've ever heard that song, but
Possibly. I'll have to look it up, mate, and I'll confirm
yeah.
with
So
text on the screen if I've heard of that song. Go
it's
on.
basically it's a song he did after he was shot 5 times when he was going to record with Biggie, and
Right.
he was convinced that either Puffy or Biggie tried to kill him. Right. So it's when he got healthy, he wrote, he rapped this song, and there's a lot of, words in there like anger, but that's the thing. It was the anger. Like I had never heard do a song with that much emotion and passion,
Okay.
and like he's just, in parts of the song he's like angry, angry, because he believes it, whether, it's still a mystery who shot him. I don't think they ever really found out who did it. But or why. But listening to that, I was like, I got to hear more of this. But the thing I didn't realize at the time that I realized a little bit later, and was what drew me to it, was he was telling a story. It's like kind of like what you were just saying about Morrissey, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's just popcorn lyrics where you're just, I woke up, did my hair, blah blah. Like that's what drew me to, Tupac and Biggie and those type of artists, was like everything they told was a story, and it was either the story of their life or their experience, and it's something I had never experienced. I experienced some of it when I, my family was more poor and all that type of stuff, so I could identify with some of it. Obviously, not the same as like, being in LA or New York
Yeah,
and the
yeah, yeah.
ghettos and all that, but it was enough where I was like, man, and I just loved listening to that type of music. Listening to whatever, like Biggie has a song called "I Got a Story to Tell."
Right.
It's one of the coolest, songs I've heard. But yeah, that was a big part of like what shaped me as far as like the music I liked. And then it's not like I ever just listened to that exclusively, but that's what I listened to, the most in like 96, 97. That's when Tupac died and Biggie died, and Snoop Dogg was, like it's crazy to me, like where I listen to Snoop, right, and where he is now. He's like a global icon,
Yep. Packing every
you
Call of
know.
Duty.
Yep, it's like Call of Duty. He's got breakfast cereals. He's like with Martha Stewart making, food. He's on like nature shows, narrating. To me, I think it's the coolest thing in the world because like if you transported back in time and told like 14-year-old me that Snoop was going to be like this, global icon that 40 and 50-year-olds are going to love him, I'd be like, you're out of your fucking mind. There's no way. What are you talking about? He's on trial. They're trying
I
to
know,
to kill
mate.
him.
How the
It's so
world has
crazy.
changed, bro.
Yeah, it's
They
nuts.
realised they could
Um,
monetize weed. That's why.
right. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh,
And he
bro.
is the weed king, man. But
It's very strange because if I picked up the Eminem album instead of the Offspring album, I may have gone down a similar musical path to yourself with regards to listening to music.
right.
Because I don't know, you a heavy metal fan in any way, shape, or form? Have you ever picked up? Because I've listened to hip hop and rap as well. Like, there's still very much one of my amongst my favorite genres.
I mean, I
Um,
like metal. I don't listen to it a lot. I like pretty much all as a I'm kind of a musician, so I try and listen to everything, at least give everything a chance, right? The one thing I do struggle with is country music. Um, but
no, I think I'm in
like
agreement, mate. Because do you know a band called Stained?
yeah, oh yeah, I know Stained.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the lead singer of that band, Aaron Lewis, did a country album.
Okay.
So I thought, all right, I'll give country a shot properly because I've listened to country in forms of Rebel Meets Rebel. I don't know if you'll know who that is, but that was David Allan Coe on lead vocals and basically Pantera's band as the backing.
Okay.
So it was heavy metal country, and that was sort of
Interesting.
the first bit of country I listened to would have been that, and I didn't really give it a time of day until Aaron Lewis released an album. I was like, it's Aaron Lewis, I'll give it a go. I like Aaron Lewis, he's got a good voice, and I can't, bud.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, probably the most country-ish type of band I like the most. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Is Blues Traveler. Um,
I'll have to have a
they
look.
uh, they play like the lead singer plays a lot of harmonica. So it's country-ish. I don't consider it that much country, but some people might. I don't know. But it's one of my favorite bands. I listened to it when I was in high school. So that's what I was saying. Like I listened to a lot of stuff, between Tupac and Biggie and Blues Traveler and Green Day and
Yeah, yeah.
um,
It's a
it
bit of
was
pop
only a few
punk.
years later where they started to meld that stuff together.
I
Like
love
Linkin Park
crossovers,
did a
mate.
song with Jay-Z. Yeah, it's great.
Mate, no,
Um,
the Jay Z Linkin Park album I really like, mate.
yeah, it's good.
Collision Course, I think it was called.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, I like that album a lot, mate. Not a Jay Z fan. Quite like a bit of Linkin Park. But yeah, I listened to Jay Z when it was crossed up and mashed up, mate. Like Run DMC. Um, even though that isn't the first metal crossover, regardless of what anyone says. Anthrax and Public Enemy was the first crossover
yeah,
with Bring
yeah.
the Noise, and that was a fucking awesome tune, mate.
Jay-Z is just kind of okay to me. I'm not he's a great lyricist. Like the way he can write lyrics is great, but his sound just isn't my favorite sound to listen to, so I don't listen to a lot of them, but that Linkin Park Jay-Z song is, album is good.
Yeah, it is very much, mate. It very much is. Yeah, absolutely. I really like that album. I used to have it on my Spotify playlist when I was an idiot that subscribed to Spotify. Um, I used to have that on my playlist for going around work. So I was on the shuffle amongst podcasts and other bits and bobs of music.
So did
Um,
you when you got into guitar, did you ever play violin after that, or did you
no,
just
no, no,
stop?
no, no, no. I
No.
played violin from the last year of primary school or elementary school for you.
Okay.
And then I didn't pick up an instrument again. Other than musical class at school where we like bang little drums or played on friggin' what are those things called? Xylophones.
Okay.
Or the old glockenspiel. Didn't really touch any other instruments unless I was forced to in musical class. Didn't really pay attention in musical class. Didn't really have any affinity for that class or at all. Strangely, probably missed a trick there as an adult. Now looking back,
Right.
having spent crikey, when I start teaching myself guitar, 16 years old. So what, I'm 41 now. So what? That's nearly 26 years
Hmm.
that I've been playing, and I missed out on so much potential free training. What a dick!
Right. Well, the reason I was asking about that is because I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's this dude on Instagram. He he does covers with a violin. He plays a violin, and I think his name's I can't remember if it's James Bowen or something Bowen. I believe Bodwen. But he
Right.
did the Linkin Park Jay-Z mashup of what was that song? The most famous one that they did together. And it's it's fucking great. Like I listen to it all
Nice.
the time because like he's just, you know, it's just a really really good, version of that song.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you the song and the thing, and we can edit it in so people can see it if they're interested. But I was like, when would I ever listen to a mashup between a pop band, rock band, Jay Z, and a dude playing the violin over it?
Sick,
Like
mate.
it's crazy.
There's a guitarist called Suga Jung on YouTube, got like 7 million subs, and he plays songs, but he'll play the backing music and the vocal line on the guitar.
Okay.
It's he's very very good at doing it, mate. So it's another sort of channel in the line of what you're talking about as well. He's definitely worth a look. He plays it all on classical guitar or Western style guitar with steel string.
Okay.
Very very good guys. Go and look up. You'll probably find a song that you know that he's played, and you'll be like, "Oh my god, how does he done that?"
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll check it out.
Definitely another cool musical channel, man. Definitely a lot to talk about on this subject, bro.
Oh yeah. So who was your most influential person on like maybe not necessarily the way you played guitar, but that you just like to listen to the most?
Oh, Dimebag Darrell, without a doubt, mate.
Yeah.
Dimebag, yeah, mate.
I figured. I figured that was gonna be the answer. I've
Mate,
seen
just a
you talk
rock
about
solid
it.
guitarist, taken too early. Rest in peace, Dime. I love you, brother. I really do. I can never play like he will. I don't have dedication or just a damn raw natural ability he did. The guy taught himself to play like that in about like 6 weeks or something like that. It's actually
That's
ridiculous.
insane.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was just
that's insane.
naturally gifted. He started as a drummer, but his brother became a drummer.
Okay.
From what I know, and then he picked up the guitar and taught himself Van Halen's. I should know what album he taught himself. The name of which Van Halen album it was at this point escapes me, but he taught himself that while spitting on the wall over a summer, and came out as Dimebag Darrell. What a legend, mate! If you watch any footage of Dimebag when he meets his fans or anything like that, he's a real genuine guy as well. Coupled with it, mate, and
Really?
he's
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he's a wreckhead. He gets smashed up every day. Probably was an alcoholic. I can't confirm whether he was or not, mate, but I used to put it away. He used to smoke a lot of weed. But he was just an upstanding guy. I don't think he ever hurt anybody. Not really. Not intentionally. I could be wrong. But I've never really saw any bad press about Dime until just before he was killed.
Mm.
And Phil Anselmo, the lead singer of Pantera, like was quoted as saying that Dime should be severely beaten or something like that, and like loads of negative press happened, and like a
Wow.
public argument, and then some crazy dude just shot him on stage.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay him any credence by saying his name or anything, but yeah, some crazy asshole shot him on stage, and that was the end of Dime, mate. But yeah, definitely, if I got to pick one band's albums to take with me because I can't listen to anything else ever again, it's definitely I'll take the Pantera back collection.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? What about you?
I didn't really have anyone because I didn't focus on drum set per se. I didn't really have anyone at the time that I was like, influenced by. It was more the DCI, the drum corps thing. But the person I like the most to listen to, just because he's a beast on the drums, is Travis Barker from Blink
Mate,
182.
he is a good drummer. He's a
That
very,
dude,
very, very good drummer.
dude, people like he is, and the average person knows he is. But when you actually delve into how he plays, right? So he uses marching drumsticks, which are like bigger and heavier, to
Right.
play on his drum set.
Okay.
right? Because his background is marching drums. Like, he does videos like instructional videos. He did on YouTube for a while,
Right.
and
Okay.
when he plays at home, he plays on like a marching snare drum a lot of times, and he just talks about his experience with it and why he loves it. But like just the fact he uses those type of sticks to play, and but it's the speed he plays at. Like, a lot of their songs are like, ridiculous tempo, like 180 beats a minute, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he plays that way for like 2 hours. And like it's insane how he's able to play the difficulty he's playing at, the speed he's playing at, with the type of sticks he's playing at, and it's just, I was like, man, like, you know that dude is the best drummer alive right now, in my
Yeah.
opinion, which isn't worth anything to anyone else except for me. But like for me, you know, it's hard to beat him. Like he is a definite like legend right now for
Yeah.
sure.
Mate, that's insane. Like, so he's at a disadvantage to a degree with the heavier sticks, but over time, I guess it's made him a better drummer. So
Yeah, I
what
mean,
would he do if he used lighter sticks, man? Do you know what I mean? How fast
I
can he
don't.
move?
I think he said like in that video. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and listen to it. But I think he said he like really can't. Like he's so used to playing the way he plays, and they take such a beating with the force he plays with, that they're probably the only sticks that could hold up while he plays. Um, but there's
But
a lot of people who do like cover. A lot of drummers on YouTube now who do cover uh, of their songs, and they're playing along with the music, and it's them drumming instead of Travis. And like after they play one song, they just collapse, because they're so exhausted. I'm like, he does that song after song after
yeah,
song.
right.
Like there's a song, Blink 182 song called After Midnight, right? And it's not like
Okay.
a remarkable type of song for drumming all that much, I don't think. But he does, in the beginning, he does like this, like these single beats, like it's just the beat of the song on the hi-hats. And the speed that he's doing these hits at are just nuts. And
Yeah,
I
he
was
does
like,
drum
man, like,
extremely quickly, mate. He does.
yeah, it's just, it sounds like a roll, but it's not. He's single hits, like he's just sticking it is what we call it. Like
It's
when you
crazy,
do
man.
like, see, it's, and like one of my favorite songs to listen to by him is Feeling This,
Yeah, I know the
because
song.
just it's got like a samba to it. Like it's a really really cool. I was teaching myself to do that song on my drum set that I had bought before I moved, and I was just starting to really pick it up a little bit when I had to move and put the drum set in storage. But I was like, man,
Yeah.
if I could play this song, it's just a really, really cool beat to listen to, and the way he switches it up and everything, it's awesome. But yeah,
It's
he's
like
he's the one I like listening to.
there's a song by Boxcar Racer called There Is, which is it's just a marching snare for the entire song.
Okay.
But the rate he keeps it up for the entire song is nuts.
Yeah, it's I'll have to
And
give it a listen because it's
especially furnished with the knowledge that uses heavier sticks.
right, right. Yeah,
Um
they must be playing on a lot of pillows.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean
He's
that's not like playing with heavier guitar strings, which is just thicker for deeper sound or anything. That's actually adding extra weight to the
yeah,
fundamental
and
part of the instrument. That's crazy.
most drummers won't use it because like it's they're too heavy. They're not meant for it. It's
That's a clear disadvantage, mate. Surely until a given point, once you've mastered it, and it must be an uphill battle to master it. Otherwise, more people would do it.
yeah, but he is so naturally talented too. On top of it, that it's probably like not even a thing to him. After been doing it for so long.
Yeah, no doubt, mate. It's just second nature. I would have thought.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, we're going to call the first edition of the music podcast there, guys. It's been almost an hour, and we're trying to keep these podcasts to a concise hour if we can, or thereabouts. But it's been an interesting first hour of music with me and Lucky. We'll go forward talking about sort of favourite genres and gigs, concerts that we've been to, and sort of how music is in the modern world and stuff into a future cast regarding music. Look, do you want to say goodbye to everybody that's listening?
Yeah, I feel like we haven't even really scratched the surface. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah, I feel you.
We got it's But yeah, it was really interesting hearing where you got your love of music from. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely,
think
mate. I
like
mean, I've learned
the
a lot
audience
about the
probably has
drums.
similar. Yeah, yeah, like they have similar experiences. How they, and they should share them in the comments or whatever. Like, you know, I think that'd be cool too to
Yeah,
hear where
absolutely,
like
definitely got to sign off in the comments with your genres, any instruments you've played, guys, why you picked them up. It'd be interesting to hear some reverberation back in the comments section. Actually,
yeah, for
it
sure.
might prompt us to talk about something on the stream. It might ping a memory in one of us or something like that. So your comments, yeah, definitely valued down below, and it might just change the course of what we talk about. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, to me, music is a universal, and the best of language tells a story, and people telling their stories, like, is part of what we're trying to build with the podcast. The communication has broken down so much. I feel like this is a good way for people to communicate with us and with each other. Just shared experiences.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, guys, we are going to sign off. We will catch you in the next Communication Breakdown podcast. Be sure to join us to finish off our musical story. Much love, peace out, and we will both catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.